annual Lyons family reunion here at the Black Sphere. This is just some brief introductory remarks, and we really are going to meet again. Many of us had the opportunity to meet last night at the Lyons family picnic at my brother's farm. So this will be slightly redundant for the many, but not for the few. My wife, Nona, and I have looked forward to coming back here to be with you, and perhaps we are something like salmon who find great pleasure in returning to our origins from time to time. I'm the son of Bill and Mary Lyons. My mother, Mary, is here in the beautiful blue dress, and the grandson of Will and Catherine Lyons, and the great-grandson of Jeremiah and Ellen Lyons, County Waterford. Glad to hear we have new blood coming through with those lusty or energetic lungs. Somehow I got delegated the responsibility of organizing this affair by my brother Pat right here and my cousin Bob, who I think I just saw walking in the door. And I don't know what it is about being in the position of a reunion organizer, but every time we have one of these events, somebody else gets put in charge. You recall it was 5 years ago, my brother Frank, who is here on my right, he's supervising. He was the one who organized our reunion. And prior to him, it was Florence Kobach who started this all off in 1949 at their farm. And then 41 years ago, it was my father Bill and mother Mary who hosted this down at the farm. It is not an overly burdensome or an unpleasant task, but the role of the reunion organizer seems to be something like that which occurred at a famous experiment in the London Zoo some years ago, when the zookeeper paired in the same cage a lion and a lamb. And it seemed that they were able to get along quite well. A delegation of American scientists from Harvard University, of course, they went over to study and to document this unique arrangement. And so they looked it all over, and they were duly impressed, and they asked all the proper questions to understand this arrangement. And finally, one of them took the zookeeper aside and said, this seems to work very well, but have there been no serious problems with this arrangement? He said, not really, but of course from time to time we have to replace the lamb. Well, it's a remarkable sight to see so many Lionses, and they're walking in by the hour, even as we speak. Hello, Greg. Joining us in one place. And I find it even the more remarkable that every one of us in this room knows and can trace exactly where we came from to two people, Jeremiah and Ellen, and we can trace our personal and collective history very accurately. And we've been greatly assisted in this venture by Bill McDonald's book, Nunda Irish, and by some other books recently published. Since we have met last night, and perhaps later today we'll meet individuals, but I'll just briefly kind of go through the branches of the family that are here. Could you raise your hands for the branch that comes from Richard Lyons and his first wife Jane Shea and his second wife Sarah Donovan? Could you just raise your hands? And could the three represented from Jeremiah Lyons and Mary Ann Harrington, we have and then Ellen Lyons and James Coughlin. And then Catherine Lyons and Morris Harrington. Elizabeth Lyons and Patrick Finley. Marge was going to try to make it, and perhaps she did not. Marge from Finley, Kobach, Flynn. See if I could say all of that, from Rapid City, but perhaps she's not able to. Then I think we have a fine representation from the William Lyons and Catherine Crossgrove family. We have a couple of other branches, Margaret Lyons and Timothy Kane. They stay in Chicago, I think. Dennis Lyons and Catherine Ann Fitzgerald, and Bridget Lyons and John Rye. The program comes later, but I feel that before lunch I should very briefly make some observations about the Irish character so that you would be properly prepared to meet some of them later today. The Irish are well known in their manner of speech and conversation for the half-said thing, the soft word, and the euphemism. When a stranger asks for directions, we take a mile or two off the distance just to keep their heart up. They are a caring people. An ancient Irish law, which should bring great comfort to many of us in this room for the future, commands that care be given to the elderly as follows. When you become old, your family must provide you with 1 oat cake a day, plus a container of sour milk. They must bathe you every 20th night and wash your head every Saturday. And 17 sticks of firewood is the allotment for keeping you warm. So I hope my nieces and nephews have taken careful notes of this command. So when their old Uncle Bob and Aunt Nona are shuffling in their cottage up in Maine in the year 2010, you will clearly know your responsibility. The Irish seem endlessly caught up in the dialogue about good and evil, and I think we noticed a bit of that last night and probably a bit today. There was an Irish beggar woman arguing with her illegitimate son about his wayward way of life. She told him, "Hell, not heaven, is your destination." But her son consoled himself, as often we do, with this reflection: if no sinner ever goes to heaven, whoever is blessed will have plenty of room there. And if everyone who follows my way is evil and damned, then hell was full up a year and a score ago, and they won't snatch me for want of room for me. Well, there are many friendly faces here today, and some we have not seen before. After lunch, many of them will be properly introduced, and we will hear from relatives from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Coast, from New England to the Heartlands. But we need nourishment first, and you need a ticket for that, $6.60 at the door for adults, and $4 for each child under the age of 10. So if you do not have a ticket, you can go to the front door, and you will be sold one. You can also especially review all of these wonderful exhibits here in the room over there, and the bar, which will be continuously open. And although we can make reference later, you can buy the book, The Nunda Irish, by Bill McDowell, for $10. And if anyone has not yet received the essays done by Thomas Lyons, which I edited, the first book was called First Dakotans. There are order blanks over here. And if you have not received and are interested in the second collection called Oklahoma Days, you can buy them. And I forgot the mason fruit jar at my mother's, so just tuck the check or cash under the books over here. And finally, we hope you will seek out a lost relative or companion for lunch and eat up heartily. Now, Susie Lyons and Sally is a cousin I have just gotten acquainted with. And she is going to usher you table by table, just like in church, to lunch. So if you would follow Susie's directions, and is the lunch on the table yet?
Yes, it's ready.
It's coming up. So Susie is going to direct you. She is the hostess in charge. And then after we eat, we'll have a little program. And we have exclusive use of this place until 3:30. And after 3:30, we have to vacate here, and if anyone is still going, we can adjourn to the barn next door. So, Susie, do you think we're ready?
Yeah, why don't we start with the table in the back, because that'll cause a little...
That's the Maloney delegation,
Yeah.
and our Vermont cousins.
It's all right. So you'll be table 1. Go ahead and start. The next one will be 2 long tables.
And also, I want to tell you, the orange card on the table for you to order a videotape if you choose to do so. And with taxes, the governor's amount, you have to pay $15.75. And the activity is Lyons Reunion. So you should make out a check that's good, or cash.
How are you doing?
And leave it on the tray behind our cameraman.
A long drive yesterday.
We're going to start in about 5 minutes.
Never gets very short now.
Good afternoon, everybody. I think we are about to begin. And if you are not in a comfortable seat, could you please find one? As we begin, and many people will be introduced, but I would like to acknowledge a couple anyway. We have a distinguished guest today, in addition to distinguished relatives. And I'm very happy Mayor Joan Krantz of Madison, South Dakota has joined us. Joan. Joan is a Dooley. Her name is also Dooley, and she is a very good friend of the Lyonses and the Maloney's in Madison. And 3 years ago, we had a small little gathering, and she gave us all a key to the city. And she enjoyed that so much she came back for more. Well, if our folks are joining us from the rear, I'll just repeat again, if you would like the videotape, fill out an orange card, a good check on a good bank for $15.75. If you also wanted a tape of that 1986 reunion, you can order that also and leave it behind the cameraman.
Oh, I have.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a few stories, readings, and tales of unbelievable feats this afternoon from various relatives. But first, we would like to pause for a memorial moment for all of those for whom quitting time has already come. So if you join me, we'll say the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Lord, may they and all of us have peace. Today, everybody in the room